Hello everyone, Scribbiny and Tina.
Hi.
Welcome to the channel. Hope everybody's having a great day and that you guys are in the best of health.
Yes, with health as always being most important. And today you can see I'm kind of in, kind of out, because again, we are going to touch back on some things that you wanted to address. And I told you, you tell it. If you tell it, it's your story. Things that got left out of part of the other two videos. So if you have not, stop, go back, watch Family Secrets Part 1, and then Family Secrets Part 2, and even our live to really help you understand what we're doing, why we're doing it, you know, what drove these videos, and getting to know Eric. But it's really Eric's story, his life, trials, tribulations, good and bad, the good and the ugly, because you can't have one without having the other.
There you go.
Yeah. So on this video, I'm going to scoot on out because it's all about you, Caribbean. You wanted to address a little bit of something that was very traumatic. It happened to you. You have not shared it with many people. Thank you, first of all, for deciding to share that with us right now. So let's get into it. We're going to first get a few facts so that then you can share what happened to you. Now, when you had this happen, how old were you?
I was between 8 and 9 years old.
Okay. And this all happened when you were under your sister's care.
Right.
Okay. Her home in Newark, New Jersey. Yes.
That's correct.
Okay. And it was just to recap, it was your older brother, you, then your sister, your younger brother, and your youngest sister. So there was a total of 5 children in the home.
That's correct.
All of you are around 2 to 3 years age difference between each one of you, right?
I would say that.
Yeah, you guys are pretty close in age, not too far. And you had, of course, because there was 5 of you, your sister sometimes had to go and run errands. She had a babysitter. Who were the babysitters, and how did she know these babysitters that were taking care of you guys?
Well, they were family related, not from her side, but it was from her husband's side. He was my brother-in-law.
Okay.
So that was his relatives. I don't know if it was wherever it was, but I know they was from his side of the family.
And there were how many?
2 of them, 2 females.
2 females. And what were their ages? Roundabout, I'm sure as a kid you didn't know their exact ages, but.
I say between 16 to 18.
Okay, so teenagers.
Teenagers, yeah.
So she had 2 teenagers watching you. Was it during the day or the night?
During the day.
Okay. And did this babysitter babysit you guys? Was this the first time and the only time, or did she multiple times babysat you guys?
Yeah, periodically they would show up and babysit us when they were requested to do so.
Okay, so whenever your sister had errands to run.
Right.
All right, so now just take us through in your own words, take your time, what happened, and it only happened once, correct?
One time.
During this day that your sister entrusted 5 kids to your babysitters.
Right. So, like I said, I was a kid between 8 and 9 years old, and it was like right around 1 o'clock. We all took a nap, and so maybe 1:25, 1:30, I kind of felt a nudge. Somebody was waking me up, and come to find out, the oldest was waking me up, the one that was in charge. Now, her girlfriend happened to be over there that day, and I was watching over her. So, I was coached to have sex with her girlfriend.
And when you say coached, you mean she was telling you what to do, how to do it?
When I woke up from my afternoon nap as a child, she pulled my pants down and she held on to me.
And again, I want to tell everybody he was 8 or 9 years old. So yes, so then you were sexually assaulted at 8 or 9, and then they just left you in the room with your other siblings, didn't say a word to you.
Didn't say a word because my siblings were sound asleep. They was actually snoring. And, no one knew what was going on but myself. And then I had like nightmares about that afterwards because I didn't know what I just experienced, because I'd never seen a female like that.
You didn't know what was happening to
I didn't know
you.
what was happening.
Yeah.
I know what's going on.
Got it. Right. And so after that, she still was allowed to babysit you because you did not tell, did you?
I kept it a secret because I didn't want to get anybody in trouble, and I didn't want to, heat will come on me.
Were you?
So
did you do it because you're afraid of your sister? Or?
I was afraid of my sister, so I would never tell anybody. And I'm surprised I'm talking about it right now on camera. I'm shocked.
Okay.
It's a secret I kept all these years because I didn't want anybody knowing. Well, my business, number one. And number two, I didn't know. We always look at it as being the female to be the one that's molested, but not the male. Well, I happen to be the male that was molested that day.
Right.
And it's something that's, I was having nightmares about it as I began to grow older. And I had flashbacks about it. And I said, I can't believe this act really happened to me. And I know it happened because I kept thinking about it for a while.
Right. Right.
And I know that was not normal. That supposed to happen to you when you're being by your babysitters.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking the 70s. So I feel like stuff like this probably happened, but it wasn't talked about as much as it has been now, like in the 2000s, 10s, 20s, like then, allegations of child abuse have come up that people never talked about before. Sexual, physical, any type. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I told you, I said, do you think maybe that you acted out, or that the reasoning behind your running away was because all of these things happened to you in such a young age? Like it started at 7 or 8 when you ended up at your sister's, that it was just abuse, and now physical abuse, and then sexual abuse, and then more physical abuse. Do you think that may have led to you always running to get away?
Well, like I said, it really started when I see my father abuse my mother. Mm-hmm. And that was the trigger right there, the beginning of it all.
Right.
And then we had a couple next door to us that come in 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, fighting, cursing, throwing bottles against the wall. So that right there was, and I was trying to sleep as a child to go to school the next morning.
Right.
So that right there stayed in the back of my head. And I'd be nervous, shaking, because I wasn't used to that type of violence. So I kind of carried that with me as well. And I went to my sister's house. The first little thing would have set me off.
Yeah. And
that's basically how it was. It was just one thing after another. The runaway things stepped in my life. I was running away, went to many other places, and that's how my life began to unfold.
Okay. And another thing you did want to touch on was after you went to the temporary foster home, they returned you to your sister. You ran away again, and then they sent you to Ranch Hope for Boys.
Right. Ranch Hope for Boys in Allway, New Jersey. Now, they had a method to the madness why they would send me from place to place, because, as you guys know, some of the information I had been going to, not just one place, but several places because of my runaway mindset.
Right. And when you went to Ranch Hope for Boys, you said you thought you were between 9 and 10, which would actually factor into it was a home away from home to rehabilitate and to offer another alternative Christian living to boys that were troubled, meaning that they were in trouble or they were in a troubling situation. And I think since you never really opened up about the physical or the sexual abuse, you acted out in other ways. So they knew you were troubled. They didn't know why.
They didn't know why.
Right.
Because there's a lot I wouldn't share.
Right.
Yeah.
So then they sent you to Ranch Hope. You said that was where?
That was in Allway, New Jersey, not too far from Vineland and Bridgeton, New Jersey.
And what was it? What was it like? What was it all about?
It's like a. It's like it had cottages there, had a dining facility there, had school, went to school on premises with just all boys, no girls. Because come to find out later on, I found out that there was also a girls' home a few miles away from us. That they had the same thing, but it was for girls.
Okay, so they kept you separated, which is smart, yeah.
Right, kept us separated. But then we used to have sock hops and things, and the girls would come, and we would, see them and have dances and stuff like that, But
the campus was all male.
But the campus was all male,
okay.
And it was for troubled kids. And I got the mindset. I began to study my history, my own background. That home was for troubled kids that needed guidance. They weren't on the right track, so they figured with that, since I didn't share a lot with them, they just thought I was just one of those
troublemakers.
Yeah. So, you know, they had to do what they had to do because I was afraid to discuss the information with them because I knew that it would come back on me at some point, and I would really be in big trouble because of fear and the intimidation.
Well, and you were a kid. Kids
And I was a kid.
always think they're going to get in trouble, yeah. But there at the Ranch Hope, they had horses.
They had horses there. They had they taught us life skills. I was in the cottage, and I had like 2 or 3 other guys. We had bunk beds inside of there, and we had 2 adults that was actually there on premise that was over us to make sure everybody got to sleep, lights out at 9 o'clock at night, and make sure that we, you know, understood how to tie ropes and tie our shoes. That's the basic stuff that a young man would need to put him actually on the right path. So we had horses. We did horseback riding. After we finished riding the horses, we would walk the horses, have responsibility about taking care of the horse, make sure the horse cooled down, and then make sure we brush the horse, things like that.
So after you did, how long were you there? You said a year or 2?
You know, it was just such a blur. I know I was there for quite a while, at least a year. At least a year. Yeah.
And then what did the state do once you finished that term there?
Okay, so they had a I would say, and also they offer counseling there too as well. So they had a period where they released you after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
To say, okay, well, he seemed like, you know, he's making, because I got, you know, good grades in school. My teacher was saying good things about me. So I had calmed down a lot because now I'm into an atmosphere.
A better at.
Way better, peaceful atmosphere, 3 meals a day.
Church on
decent
Sunday.
Clothes, church on Sunday. The whole grounded thing. That's what this organization, and actually they still in existence.
Yes.
It's right there in New Jersey.
Bigger, but yes.
And bigger and better.
Yes.
You know, so that was the situation there. But after a while, you know, like all good things must come to an end, right? They took me out of the home. They took me right back to my sister's house.
And then that's when trouble started again at your sister's. You ran away again. And like you said on video 2, that's when you ended up with the foster parents who temporarily housed you, but the husband was an alcoholic, so you ran away from there. And then you ended up in the YMCA, correct?
Right, YMCA downtown.
Your senior year of high school.
My senior year in high school.
Okay.
I did. Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's a good breaking point. So we'll stop there so that we can take off from the high school graduation and what entered your life during your senior year. But thank you for sharing your story with us. I know it's not easy sometimes, and we're told as children to stay quiet, and I'm glad you're not quiet anymore.
Well, you know, I had to grow up and go through a few things to be able to share it, because who knows, this could possibly help somebody.
Yes. So, like always, make sure to hit subscribe, hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell if you'd like to get notified on videos like this and others. And we will see you on the next video.